Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel, Straight Jacket Union. Today we'll be covering different aspects of The Last of Us other channels haven't covered, which mainly is the alterations or changes in certain scenes or objects from the final version in the game. Starting off, here we can see the layout for your character's health and weapon display, which was completely different from the final version in the game. Not only that, but it seems the mechanics of the combat system was more organic, and I agree the AI was pretty convincing the first playthrough, numerous bugs aside. However, it became second nature to predict the enemy's movement from then on. As you can see here, the enemies behave accordingly to the actions you take. Joel breaks free from the hunter and uses him as a human shield, while his friend across shoots him accordingly. Nowhere else in the game do we see this process repeated. Other changes include how the environment is laid out, which mainly is how Ellie and Joel come into these stages. In this scene, both characters block off an entrance and continue through the cafe. For those of you who've already played this game, then you know the cafe is in a different location on the map, and it's only used to get to the hotel.
Come on.
Hey, there's another one. Posters are everywhere.
I saw this.
Joel and Ellie are having a conversation about the Dawn of the Wolf film. In the final game, this doesn't occur until later on. Going back to the cafe example, we see the bus that isn't submerged like it was in the final game. In fact, Joel climbs over here with no problem, while in the final game we had to go through the cafe to continue on. The trailer is a good example of how the team diverged from the style of the Uncharted series. Scenes of the environment have cinematic qualities, like a camera overview of the quarantine checkpoint, especially the scene of the citizen roundup. Here, Joel looks towards the activity while going about his business. Now, my final thoughts on the game. It was something that brought real joy to me during my final college years. It was an experience I could just unwind and enjoy a good story, and many games don't have this nowadays. But seeing the trailers and the tech demo, I could see Naughty Dog deviating from the original ideas they had. Currently, I believe that could have been to, compensate for the story, because they wanted it to be more engaging, and to do that, they probably had to slow it down versus the action-packed style of Uncharted. With that being said, if they taken more time, because I do believe they did still rush this title out, because even though it was delayed a couple of times, and apparently they were working on it for more than 5 years or 2 years, around there. But how much of that was actual, programming and encoding? It could have just been like, usual pre-production, which takes, a while, writing the script, going back to the script. And with that being said, I believe the game kind of suffered a little bit. It could have been a masterpiece, but it still was a unique experience. And I know many of you are gonna be like, nah, that's bullshit and fuck you. But I mean, it is what it is. It feels like it's missing a lot of things, and we can see that a lot of stuff was changed, so apparently things were missing. And on top of that, what about all those glitches, man? I mean, I got this game, I paid around $80 for it because I wanted that survival edition. Paying for my money, I want something that was working. So I got a game that was semi-working, had a lot of bugs, a lot of glitches, a lot of dying constantly for different dumb reasons. Texturing not loading, things like that. I mean, it does ruin experience when you're first playing a game that's been especially worked on for a long time. It really does piss me off, I mean, it was my hard-earned money, but it was still an enjoyable experience. But Last of Us, great game, 9.5, not a 10 out of 10, because of those little problems. If they just fixed those little problems, maybe made the game a little more action-packed, it could have been more. It could have been more, and that's the only thing I have left to say, is that I feel like The Last of Us could have been more than what it was. It's still a great game, it's an amazing story, and I want to see more of it. And I waited around to get this done because I wanted to see, was the DLC gonna go back to those areas and like explain the changes. You know what I mean? Like the bridge. Does Ellie and Joel go back to the bridge? Does something happen to the camp? No, it just went back into the past with Ellie and her friend Riley, the Left Behind DLC. So after playing that and experience that DLC was actually pretty good. And for $14.99, I think it was actually money well spent, because as many people are saying it's short, it actually wasn't. I know I played it on Survivor, and that makes it a little longer and harder, but sorry. But I mean, yeah, it's even on easy or normal, it's gonna take a little bit, like an hour or something, or an hour, more realistically close to 2 hours. And that's my final thoughts on The Last of Us.